My name is Devin Scott, and I've been teaching Bible at Holland Christian for 5 years. This is my sixth.
And I'm Autumn Scott, and I met Holland Christian through my husband.
I became a believer in Jesus when I was 16. I went to public school my whole entire life, so I became a believer in about 06, 07, and then 08 was my first year here. My experience as a student, my first year was tough. I think it wasn't that people weren't nice to me. Like there was people would go out of their way to make sure that, they were respectful. But I think it was difficult because even though like people were nice to me, it didn't feel home. And I stayed another year and everything just changed. Like I became a part of this team and I did cross country and track and basketball. And that's when we kind of had that commonality that we could share. And I felt like more of a place at the table after that. Holland Christian is holistic and intentional. So when it comes to education, for it to be truly Christian, it has to cover the entire person. So mind, body, and soul, it's got to affect all those areas. And that includes how we relate to one another on an ethnic, racial level. And Holland Christian is very intentional about how can we grow so that it's not from like a top down, like we have it all figured out. Yeah, you're gonna have some students who may not be as sensitive to that. And I don't want to shy away from that for sure. Like that's definitely a reality. But the beauty that I've seen is that there are students who care. Yeah. Like we have student groups here and it's just a bunch of students from you got white, Hispanic, Asian students who are trying to just figure out how can we make this a place that is hospitable for everybody. So I would say you'll see from students and you'll see from staff that intentionality when it comes to making it hospitable.
We have 3 kids. Jabari is our oldest, so he has been attending Holland Christian for 3 years now. Piper, she's just started her kindergarten year.
And I would say to minority parents who are from processing, how would our kids be treated or seen or even portrayed if they come here to Holland Christian? That's definitely a conversation that is a continuous conversation.
Every time I've always felt like my kid is like seen and heard, and not like in a way that makes them feel odd, but feel cared for.
Diversity is God's agenda. Like it's not something that's separate from the scriptures. And even when you look in Revelation at the end of the entire Bible, God tells us in Revelation, this is how the story will end. And it ends with people from every tongue, tribe, nation, and language gathering together around the Lamb. I heard a pastor one day say that proves that diversity is not a temporary project. That's a permanent thing that will last. And so if we want to show students a slice of heaven on earth, that means that we have to be about diversity. And Holland Christian is excellent with standing firm on that, being loving and respectful with maybe questions that people have, but still standing firm on that truth.